Hi, my name is Mike Thomas, President of Kiwi Indian Motorcycle Company. What we're going to show you here is how to correctly time the oil pump to the engine. So it's not just a matter of putting the oil pump on the engine and where it ends up is where it ends up. It has to be timed in order to get the distributor in its correct location, and it's mostly the nipples for the coil and high tension, well, the high tension leads. Otherwise they will interfere with the shift rod. So this one here we're going to do it on is a 1948 to 53 model, which has a aluminum oil pump. There'll be a little bit of bonus here where I'll show how the check ball and spring is fitted. First off, we want to get the front cylinder up on compression, so put your finger over the front cylinder spark plug hole and then kick the motor over until you can feel it trying to lift your finger off the seat, and that's coming up on compression on the front cylinder. Next step is to get the timing mark in the right position in the hole. So now that you've got your front cylinder coming up on compression, you need to get the timing mark in the hole. What I've found is 74s, you get the timing mark in the middle of the hole, and 80s and 84-inch engines seem to be right at the very front end of the hole. They seem to work best there. We work very closely with James Gaskets for developing gaskets that are specifically for Indian motorcycles. This is a foamet material, and it's actually got metal in between with 2 layers of foamet material on each side. What this allows, what actually happens with this type of material is it will conform to irregular surfaces. So even though this is new material, new surfaces we're putting it on, if it's original surfaces over 70 years or so, they've been warped and people had they got slight scratches on, some a little bit deeper than others through using screwdrivers, which shouldn't be done, but you know, over 70 years people have done different things that we got to deal with. This here is actually an old one. You can actually see it actually leaves an impression in there. So imagine if you got some defects in the surface, this foamet material will take that up, which is certainly a big plus for us working with these old bikes. Down in this hole here is a check ball and spring. The ball goes in first and the check ball follows that. One of the things in the aluminum pump, these things are notorious for bleeding the oil from the tank down into the crankcase over a period of time. It's inevitable that it's going to happen to some extent. Sometimes it happens way faster than what it should, but it's generally to do with this ball not seating down here on its seat within the oil pump. A little trick to do with aluminum oil pumps is this is about the size of the stock spring. There's some on the market that are actually way weaker than what they should be. There's actually a lot of people have fitted them in the bike, but they're actually running into oil bleeding problems. What I do is the other one's just weaker, period. This particular spring I start out with and I expand it to 1.25 inches long. So we're going for approximately 1 inch, and I just expand that, just pull it apart to 1.25 inches, and that seems to put about the right tension on the ball, and pretty well eliminates or greatly reduces the amount of bleed by in this little check ball. So to seat it, just pop it down its hole. You can get a piece of soft material. Aluminum is fine. Actually, this one here get the oil out so you can actually see it a little bit better. But I actually made a little radius, if I can focus on it. It's actually got a radius in the end, and the ball sits into that. I can then put it down this hole and put the oil pump on a good solid surface and give it a good solid tap. Don't pussy around with it. It's a job, just needs one good solid whack, and the ball will sit. If you've got a fresh ball, go ahead and put that in after you whack. But the aluminum, if you made a nice little radius seat in it, certainly stress out the load over the whole ball. Another way to possibly do your gasket and oil pump installation and to make sure that the check ball spring doesn't get cockeyed is to put a couple of screws through and then drop the gasket down over it and holding it in position. But what you would have done firsthand is already made sure that you've timed the oil pump to the engine. So you're going to pull it off and then just do what I did here. That's another alternative way.